Hello YouTube, it's been a little while. Actually, no, I take that back. It hasn't been a little while. I actually just uploaded something today and I did last week as well. But those are for a book club that I'm doing with my team. For those of you who don't know, my name is Katie Jenkins and I am well, I was going to tell you my title, but it's honestly kind of irrelevant because every company has their own titles, right? I'm with Farmasi. That is who I work for, and that is how I'm able to stay home with my children, which is pretty incredible, right? At least it is to me. It's super exciting. I love it. This Farmasi, I've been doing this for over 5 years, so I'm not new to the network marketing industry. However, a lot of mine and my family's lives shifted 2.5 years ago when I came to Farmasi, and the biggest shift for us, the biggest move, was the journey of homeschooling. So that's what we're doing now. And today, you guys, Farmasi has 2 brand new eyeshadow palettes. We actually launched 9 palettes, or I'm sorry, 9 palettes, I wish, right? We actually launched 9 new products this month in January. And this is what I used yesterday. And I'm super sad because as soon as I was done with my live, I had my daughter in here with me. She's a toddler and things get kind of crazy. And I dropped this palette on the ground and I broke one of my shadows, but it's fixable. So I'll be able to fix that with some alcohol and just smush it all up and it'll form back up. So I played with that one yesterday. It's by far my favorite just because I'm a sucker for, the neutrals and natural colors. This is the one I'm going to play with today with all of you. So I'm going to take this off. Oh my gosh, look how gorgeous that is. This obviously has a protective film on it too. That's why it looks so blurry, but look at that. I'm super excited to play with this. I'm not going to do my foundation for you today. I'm just going to keep this simple and we're just going to do an eyeshadow look with that palette. You know what else I was supposed to do today was wash my brushes. I had like minimum brushes to use when I played with the Desert Sands palette yesterday, and told myself I'll just wash them today, and I didn't, you guys. I didn't wash my brushes, so we're gonna wing it. Hope for the best. Even though I'm not doing my base face on camera, I would like to at least put my primer on, just so I don't have to worry about that later. Here's my primer. So I use a silicone primer. All the products that I'm using are made in Turkey. They're actually European standard products, which means they ban over 1,300 harmful ingredients, whereas most of those are allowed in the US. They're allowed in FDA products. The FDA only bans like 10 to 13 products. So it's kind of sad. But on the good note, a lot of people who have sensitive skin or find certain sensitivities to certain products, they, for the most part, are able to use, I can't say everyone is able to use them because, everybody, like, that's a false statement no matter where you are. I'm not about that. But I've personally had a lot of customers and teammates in the past 2.5 years who've voiced that concern of being sensitive to things in the past, but still being willing to try something, and they freaking love it. So, proof's in the pudding. Like, there's a very big difference when it comes to European standard products versus FDA standards. A very big difference. Okay, so we're going to prime my eyes, and I'm actually using, let me see, is that the one I want to use? Yeah. I'm actually going to use a concealer to prime my eyes because maybe I'll use my stick concealer. I actually ruined my my actual eyeshadow primer. On accident, obviously. I used it and didn't put the lid back on it, so our stuff doesn't have preservatives or anything like that. And it was just a mess, and I figured I'd be better off buying new than trying to fix it, Sometimes it's like that. And I get 50% off all my products anyway, so it's not a huge deal, which is very, very nice. So if you are ever interested in running this business the way that I do, or, obviously we'd fit it into your own schedule. It's kind of a specialty of mine. you automatically receive 50% off your own products. You automatically receive a base pay of 50% commission, okay? I'm not going to tell you that you earn up to. A lot of companies like to say that they earn 50% commission, and they do, but they got to work their butt off to get there. You're going to join me for 20 bucks and automatically start earning 50%. And the super cool part, it's like the newest addition to our compensation plan, which is already it's literally the highest paying compensation plan in North America, is that we get paid every 3 days, okay? Every 3 days, which for someone like myself who relies on this income as my base income, it's my main income, seeing a chunk of change come in every 3 days is like, makes me feel really good right here. Very, very good. I'm like, I love that so much. So, or if you join, and I also have a lot of people on my team who tell me upfront when they're joining, right? Because communication's key. If you join and you're just joining for the discount and I don't know that, like, I don't want to treat you like you're here for the business, and you won't want me to treat you like you're here for the business either. But if I don't know that, you know, just say, hey, I'm joining because I really want that 50%. You automatically get 50% off everything. Meal replacement shakes, collagen, makeup, skincare, hair care, nail care, blah, blah, blah. Literally everything. We have something for everyone in every single household. So we got a lot going on here. Darn, that brush needs to be put away. I'm pretty sure my toddler does play in here a lot. And she has currently been playing with, we have a blush palette that I don't use, just because if you know me, I don't use a lot of blush. And I have now got stuff everywhere from her. Oh my gosh, it's all over my hands still. But what are you gonna do, you know? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's as good as we get, but I do want to put a little bit more primer on that side of my face since I just wiped it all off. It's so crazy. Okay. Squirrel brain sometimes. But if you are also someone that stays home with your children, I'm sure you completely understand. Or just have children. I shouldn't even say if you stay home with them. Just if you have them, you understand. All right. So I'm going to be reaching back for my brushes quite a bit. But first of all, we're going to use this color up here. And I'm just going to put this one all over. It does have, oh man, it has like a very slight hint of like a pinkish purple tone to it. Can you tell? Normally I'm used to just using like an ivory shade up here, but this is nice considering, you know, it matches the rest of the palette. So you can see that slight difference. I'm just doing this for a little bit of a base. So what I was saying as, you know, what I prefer, or what I like to say is one of my specialties here as a leader, is I really like to work with my team one-on-one. We're not a one-size-fits-all. What I do for my business might not work for you, and what you do for yours might not work for me, and vice versa. You know, we can go all the way down the line with that. I like to work with you personally. I like to help you figure out what your goals are, because when you're brand new, you might not know what your goals are. And I like to break that down with you. I like to kind of take a look at what does a day in a life of you look like? How can we tweak this a little bit? How can we add a little bit more time here or a little less time there for you to just have a tiny, like maybe 30 minutes a day to work on your business, to put towards this? That's at a minimum, right? And, you know, I've got teammates who have been here for just about as long as I have, and they are ranked up higher, and life happens, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed, and we're like, you know, I need to scale back because I'm overwhelmed. So we work on going back to the basics. We clear whatever, you know, high crazy schedule they once had, and we reel them back in together. Me and that person work together, reel them back in. I shoot an idea out. How does this make you feel? Good? Great. Let's try it. Does it make you feel great? Okay, how can I tweak it to help it make you feel a little bit better? That's how we go back and forth. That's how I help. Obviously, I can't help people that don't communicate with me. But there's a lot of people who do genuinely want that one-on-one help, and that's what I love to do. Okay, you guys, I have no idea how to even play with these colors. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea right now. I'm thinking that I might do this one, and this one. I feel like I hear footsteps out there. I might just put her down for her nap. I hope it's not her. I'm just gonna try to find some brushes that might work since I'm kind of all over the place with my other brushes. All right, let's see. This could be like a cute Valentine's Day palette, right? I mean, Valentine's Day, Galentine's, whatever. All right, I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush, and that color scares me a lot. Let's go in with this lightest one up here. It's like a really pretty mauve. And I don't know how much pigment to put on my brushes because I've never played with these before. The best rule of thumb is to start with a little and add more as you need, because it's way easier to add a little bit of pigment, blend it out, and add more as needed than it is to add way too much from the gate and have to take it all off or sit there for like an hour trying to blend it all. No one wants to do that. Okay, so this one, I'm just using this fluffy brush and building this pigment right. I go right above my natural crease because I do have hooded eyes. And that was something that I learned early on when I learned how to do my makeup. I'm obviously self-taught. I'm sure if you are a professional, well, you're probably not even watching me. But if anyone has doubts about what I do because you can't do makeup, you can learn. You can learn. And you don't even have to. You don't even have to do makeup if that's not your thing. Makeup was not always my thing when I joined this industry. Honestly, I knew how to wear foundation. I knew how to wear mascara, 1 or 2 eyeshadows. And if I wore more than one, it was just 2 eyeshadows and they were put right on top of each other. I had no idea how to apply makeup. My lipstick was chapstick and that was it. That was me in a nutshell. But I thought, since I joined at the time, I joined a company who they only had makeup and skincare. Obviously, you know, skincare, you can learn about the products and teach that, but I wanted to know the makeup as well. So I decided to start teaching myself. I watched people in the industry who played with makeup. I watched YouTube videos until I found something that was appealing to me, right? I did not like full glam makeup looks when I was just starting out. I really just wanted to kind of stick with the basics. I wanted to learn what I was doing. And I kind of wanted to learn like what felt right to me. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But here at Farmasi, we are truly a lifestyle brand. You know, we have, if you don't want to do the whole makeup thing now or ever, we've got skincare, we've got hair care you can gear it towards, and that is still expanding as we speak. It just got new hair care products in yesterday. You can focus on health and wellness. We've got men on our team who focus on health and wellness. That's literally an entire line of supplements, meal replacement shakes, 3 different types of collagen. Like, we got a lot. That's also still expanding. Nail care, perfume, we have home cleaning products. Like, there's a lot of different avenues that you can take this. I started falling in love with doing more makeup after I had my daughter. And I had her almost 3 years ago. And I just really fell in love with makeup kind of being like an outlet for me. It kind of gave me that, I don't know, it just made me feel good. It made me feel creative. You know, it's really, which I read not too long ago. I'm always reading about like PMS and natural things that we can do for ourselves. And because I'm weird like that, I like stuff like that. And it's really important for women to be creative. Like, that's just the natural way, like, healing technique for them. And makeup feels creative for me. I know I didn't just show you what shade I'm using, but I promise I will as soon as I pick the palette back up. So a fun thing about putting your eyeshadow on before you do your base face or anything else that you're gonna, you know, like your foundation and all of that, is that you can be messy. It's all right if you make a little bit of a mess because we've got all the room to clean it up. You know, it's not like we're trying to clean up and messing up our foundation now and our contour and all of that. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, that is pretty. I really wanted to, I'm not sure how to fit this other shade in here. So I switched brushes. I use this is like that deeper mauve color. You don't need all of those on there. I just wanted to have more of a transition. But this one right here is really pretty. Okay, so what I used with this brush to all like this darker color is this one right here. And then I used this color just a little bit right here, just to add a little bit of, I guess, just to kind of blend it all together, give it a little bit more of a dimension. But I'm not taking it all the way into my corner. Just about halfway, just right in this little section. That's it. Okay, I'll do the same thing to the other eye now. This is always, does anyone have the problem where, it's not really a problem, but you do your eyeshadow on one eye and it looks great, and then you get to the other eye and it's just always problematic? That's how this eye is. This is always like my problem child. I don't know if this side is slightly shaped different, or I know my veins are more prominent on this side. It's like in one tiny spot, but it always messes with me. Okay, that went on pretty easy. Now I'm going to take that other one. You know, and once you play with this more, it'll go on a lot easier for you. Right now, I've never played with this palette, and if you watch my tutorials, I normally don't play with a whole bunch of pinks. I normally have a whole bunch of browns, which is why I love that desert. That one's called Desert Sands, the other palette that I'm obsessed with and that I broke. But it will be an easy fix just with some rubbing alcohol. I'll be able to put a little bit in there, crush it all up, and let it form, and it'll be fine. I feel like I learned that with my last company. For some reason, those pigments broke more often, I guess. I guess that's why that came up, but they were still great nonetheless and always fixable. So just something to carry with you in your back pocket so you know your palette's not necessarily ruined, and it doesn't change whenever you fix them like that. It doesn't change like the pigments of it, so that's always nice to know too. Okay, let's do, I was gonna put false lashes on today, but I wore false lashes yesterday when I wore Desert Sands, mainly because I was wearing, what was I wearing? I was wearing the pressed glitter. I'd never worn pressed glitter before. So this is still that lightest shade that I started with, and I'm just rubbing it right under my brow bone. And obviously haven't done my brows yet. But I will do those in just a second. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Have to let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so what shimmers do we want to wear? So I know that this is obviously a shimmer and this is a shimmer. This is a pressed glitter. I'm not going to wear that today, but what is that? It's, oh my gosh, that's incredibly soft. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is the one that's on the bottom. And then this is the one that was in the top corner. Oh my goodness. How stinking gorgeous is this? Okay, what we're gonna do. Wowzers, that's so pretty. This is kind of like a pressed glitter. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure that's my daughter coming. Like for sure this time I hear her. Coco! Wasn't my son, he would just come barging in. He's been sick this week. And Coco woke up with a runny nose, so I'm praying that she doesn't, I'm praying that that's kind of all that she gets. But, you know, we share everything around here, so why not share that too? Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this. Wow. Oh my goodness. This glitter is crazy soft. Like, crazy soft. Coco? Maybe it's not her. I don't know what I'm hearing. Probably gonna wake her up with my loud voice and loud mouth. Yelling for her when she's still asleep. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love that. Well, I kind of still wanted to put some of this on too, just because. Just want to see what it looks like. Probably can't even tell though. All right, I'm loving that. What I'm gonna do is clean that up, just like that. Just using a wipe. I like to use makeup wipes. Hi, baby. There she is. Oh, you pooped? Okay, I'm coming. All right, well, I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Mom life, perfect example. I feel like I might have taken a little more off right there than what I needed or wanted. But see, that's why I was saying, like, this is my problem eye. I don't know why, it just is. Look at that. I really, really like that. I guess we'll leave it. I kind of had a different look in mind, but I didn't realize I was going to fall in love with that particular shimmer so well. So, but I feel like, okay, so Desert Sands, let me look at it again. Yeah, it just has, it's so sad to look at. Desert Sands has this shimmer, and this shimmer, and then one pressed glitter, and it's flippin' gorgeous. Maybe I'll put that live on here too, but if not, it's on my Facebook channel. You can go find it easily by just, I think it's linked, my Facebook is linked to my YouTube anyways. So this is obviously a pressed glitter. This applies like a pressed glitter. So technically two in there. This is a shimmer, and actually this purple one has a slight shimmer in it too. There's so much you can do with this palette. I love, love, love it. Wowzers, I love that. Do I want to put more on? I think that I do. And this one is super, super soft. This one in the middle, so you don't want to press very hard. Like it's really, really soft right there. I've never experienced that. I'm not really used to playing with glitters ever. Yesterday was my first time ever playing with a pressed glitter. And I kind of put it to the test because when I was done on my live, I did 2 different workouts and just a lot of movement around the house. You know, I don't just sit here all day, chase children and do house chores and stuff like that. And I was expecting, since that was my first time playing with a pressed glitter, I thought for sure I was going to have glitter like fall all over my face, you know, and I didn't. It didn't at all. I took a picture because I was so impressed. I'm pretty sure I even talked on my TikTok about it too because I was just so excited. So if you're on TikTok, please go find me. All right, let's finish this look off. We're going to do a little bit of eyeliner. And actually, I really do have, I am going to end up putting a little bit of this, which color? Maybe this one on my bottom lash line, but I'm not going to do that one on camera because I'm not doing I want to do my foundation and concealer first. I like doing that part first and then coming back to touch that up. It's easier for me that way. But this is our ink liner. This would be, see, I love how thin you can make this line. That's why I love the ink liner. But this would also be really pretty if you had one of our dark blue eyeliners. And I did. Okay, I had one. I don't think I have one anymore. Because I'm pretty sure, wait. Nope, that's a pencil. I did have one of our blue liners for the longest time, one of the ink liners. And when I first saw this palette, I was like, oh, that would be so pretty with that. And then I remembered I mailed a Christmas present to someone and put that in there. Mainly because I was trying to trick them. I didn't want them to open the box and immediately know what I got them. But this ink liner pen is extremely user-friendly. It is not hard to use at all. It has a nice long felt tip that doesn't wiggle around when you're using it. And I mean, naturally I got that side a little bit thicker, right? Just a little. Okay, it'll be fine. And mascara. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and finish the bottom because I just want to. I'm going to use this. This is one of our brushes here at Farmasi. Not even sure. It's like an eyebrow brush. Like has a little spoolie part. I need to do my brow mascara too. Okay. I'm going to go in with that darkest shade that I used. Put some pigment on here. And I go about halfway over. And voila, I might add a little bit more and make it a little bit darker. I love adding these pigments as liners on the bottom lash line because versus an actual eyeliner, because it's a little bit, it's not necessarily as dark and it's not as thick. So you're not closing your eye, making your eyes seem smaller. And when you have hooded eyes, you definitely don't want to be adding, you know, a bunch of layers of eyeliner. The thinner, the better, honestly. It's going to make your eyes just pop a little bit more. You're going to seem brighter, more awake. So if you found this helpful at all, please make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel. It means so, so much to me. Okay, there's that. And, oh yeah, so the book club that I'm doing with my team, I'm putting the recordings of it on my YouTube channel. I have a playlist for it. It's called Winning. That's the title of the book. And I mainly did that because I had some people who don't have the book, and I didn't want it to be an issue where someone didn't have the book, like that they either had to buy it or, you know, if they couldn't afford it. I didn't want them to feel like they couldn't be a part of the book club, because it's just such a good book that I wanted really anyone who wants to listen and follow along to be involved with it. So that was my whole thought process, and it's on here now. So we just finished there's kind of like 2 introductions to it, and then like 13 regular chapters. So we just finished, we've done the first 2 introductions. Those are up on my channel already. And then we just finished the first 2 chapters together, and on Sunday we'll have another meetup, and those will be the 2 chapters after that. So I'm really excited, but I'm trying to get my recordings up, obviously, at least a day or 2 before we have our next meetup, because I want the people that are listening to it to have a chance to hear it and, you know, take notes, write down their takeaways, their aha moments, anything like that. So I've actually got to record a chapter today, and I'm going to record a chapter tomorrow, and then after I'm done with tomorrow's chapter, then I'll put it on my channel, and they'll have the rest of Friday, all of Saturday, pretty much all of Sunday too, and I'll make a discussion thread for it on Sunday evening, Sunday night-ish. So I figured that would be good, a better time frame. Okay, look at that brow mascara, you guys. It makes such a big difference. I'm very much in love with this stuff. It's only $13. So again, you're either paying that as a customer to support my business, or you're, you know, as an influencer, you can get it for 50% off. And again, to be an influencer, you can be here to work, or you can be here because you genuinely need the discount. And I am a-okay with either one, whichever fits you the best. When people join me because they want the discount, I help them if they need my help. Sometimes people don't even need my help. Sometimes they do it on their own, and I just get an email and I reach out to them and I'm saying, hey, you know, I saw that you joined. I'm super excited for you. Are we doing this for business reasons, or are you here, you know, for a discount? And if they say discount, then I say, great. You know, just know that I'm always here if you have any questions, and enjoy your discount. Like, there's really nothing to it. I don't hound you. I don't add you to a bunch of groups. I have had some discounters want to be added to groups because they like to stay in the know of things, and that's perfectly fine too. If you're allowed to be in our groups, you paid to be here. It's just a one-time fee of $19.99. If you're in Canada, it is free. So you literally have nothing to lose. But listen, I'm telling you, being paid every 3 days now makes those Starbucks trips seem a little bit nicer. So I'm actually I have Starbucks chai tea in here. It's their iced chai tea latte made with oat milk. It's so good. But I got one this morning. I haven't really been drinking them much lately. And decided to get one this morning just since both kids are sick, and, you know, I like to make myself feel better about things sometimes that way. And I just really wasn't feeling it. So I actually brought it home and made a small little cup of my chicory coffee that I have through Farmasi, and added that to it just to kind of tone it down because it was way too sweet for me, and I'm still drinking it. But I have been busy all day. Django really hasn't wanted to do any school today, so I've just been letting him rest. But I've been reading, doing my recordings. Hello. What are you doing, girlfriend? What are you doing? Okay, you can you want to change? Oh, those aren't pants, baby. Those are short. That's a shirt. Okay, you don't have to lay down if you don't want to. You can stay in here with mommy. Yay. Yay. Oh, I forgot what I was saying. I forget what I was saying. That's close. I think it needs to go over your head. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was planning out, I have a whiteboard that I write, like, I have a word of the year, I have intentions, like daily tasks, weekly tasks, and then on the other side, I draw a calendar, and I know I can get whiteboards that already have a calendar on them, but listen, that's just how my brain works best. I'm so pen to paper, like I need that. It just helps my brain work better when I have it all flowed together that way. So I literally draw my own calendar, but I draw it by the week. So I have the first week of January up there, and each day kind of has like a bigger block of everything that I either did that day or had on my list to complete. And I do that because like some days, so this week in particular was kind of a little bit different because I did work out of the house 2 days this week on Monday and Tuesday. They were kind of last minute days, last minute pickup shifts, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. So on Monday I was good. I already kind of had a plan, but Tuesday, those days are just a lot for me. And so I went back and I had to remember like, okay, well, what did you do on Tuesday? And I write like the gist of things, right? It doesn't have to be every detail. Yesterday was crazy productive. Today, I've got everything on there for today. What time is it? Oh, it's 3. I actually have a business meeting in an hour, a little less than an hour. I've got everything planned out for Friday. And then Saturday. So I actually did a little bit extra on my to-do list, if you will, for today and Friday, just so on Saturday, my husband's off. He's normally not off on Saturdays. But just so, since it's his Saturday off, like I don't have a jammed packed day, you know? And that's the beauty of doing what I do. I really get to tailor my schedule to fit my lifestyle. And I absolutely love that. And I still am able to show up for my business and not feel like a chicken with my head cut off because I have a plan. I look at my calendar and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. You know, I love that. And I really liked being, so for those that don't know, I did work seasonal at K Jewelers last month. And I really didn't mind it. And here's why, because sometimes we just go through seasons of life where we genuinely just need more. And that is where my family is right now. My son is homeschooled, but he is also receiving an intervention therapy to help his little brain work in a different way. So we're paying a lot for that. And I'm not just talking like $50 a month or $100. I'm talking like a few hundred, a little more than that every single month. And it's going to be that way for a year minimum, for 12 months minimum. So when I actually received that opportunity, so I really wasn't looking. I had a manager reach out to me and ask if I was able to help. So of course I said yes. It helped tremendously. I was able to save a bunch of that and use it going forward. But because I was kept on as seasonal, I was asked to pick up a couple shifts when someone was on vacation, which is still a blessing that I'm able to do that, you know, because that's an extra couple $100 just right there, just from picking up a couple random shifts. And if you know me, I love money. I love, I love just having it and knowing that what literally, right, with my son, like that's a pretty big thing. Like literally anything that comes our way, like we're always just taken care of. We always have what we need to make it happen. And that's important to me. Bless you, baby. But I realized after, you know, since January started, minus my son being sick this week, like we've been getting into a better school routine, an easier work routine for me, and just all the little things. And once I worked on Monday and Tuesday, it was just like, ugh, I could just feel like the walls like crumbling in. It's like the whole time I was there, all I could think about was what I wanted to be doing at home. And it's like, wow, it just kind of puts things into perspective. It humbles you a lot. A lot. But I will definitely stay on a seasonal. And who knows? I mean, if I'm asked to work 2 days next month, sure, why not? A couple $100. Like, we'll take it. Because we need it, you know? We're definitely, you know, oh, at least I'm not. My husband's quiet. I'm the loud one. I'm the loud one that likes to talk about things no one else likes to talk about. So I make it super comfortable for everybody at all times. Look at you, big girl. You are so smart. Yes. I know you are, baby. So this mascara, holy moly, right? This is our Double Lash Extend Mascara. This is like $22 and some change, but let's just say for the sake of me not doing all that math in my head, we say it's $22 even. If you sell one of these, you just made $11. And you're going to get that $11 in 3 days. 3 business days, okay? Because that's how banks operate. We got to keep it real. Banks aren't just going to suddenly bend those rules, or maybe they will someday. Who knows? Who knows? But sell 2 of them, $44, $66, $88. You get what I'm saying. Give yourself a goal. Say, you know, which is another, I kind of touched on this earlier. Like, I like working with people one-on-one and giving people small goals, because sometimes we join this industry and we don't want to start out making 6 figures a year, you know? That's not everyone's goal. Sometimes people join because they want to pay off their credit card debt. Sometimes people want to join because they want to pay for their Starbucks habit. Sometimes people join because they need money for their grandkids. Like, these are real legit reasons. I had a girlfriend who was fired from her job 2 years ago, and I'm sure you all can guess why after me just saying that simple little statement. She knew that I had only been with Farmasi for a couple months, and she already saw how much I was thriving and growing, that she joined me. She was like, I have no other choice. She's like, I don't have any other thing going on. Like, and I've got $20. So she joined me, and that paid her way through to get her real estate license. So she's not here as a teammate, but she's a customer now. You know, like, not ever, just because you sign up doesn't mean that you're signing your life away. Okay. Like, I don't know what type of people have been in contact with you, but I'm not that. I'm not that at all. I'm different, and I'm very special because of that. So if you're looking for a leader who is actually going to treat you like a human, who's not going to gatekeep how to grow and do all of the things, who's actually going to help you, work with you, as long as you're communicating, okay? I know that's hard. Communication is not something that a lot of people like to do, know how to do, and I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that as respectfully as I can, because I know grown adults, as in like my parents' age, who have no idea how to communicate, and it shows in every area of their life, and it has trickled down to their grown adult children, and that stops right here with me, because my babies are going to learn communication. Yes, baby. Yes. So I just wanted to show you my new eyeshadow palettes. If you're interested in ordering, please go use the link that's in the description. You'll probably have to copy and paste it, but it is www.farmasiFarmasiUS.com/KATIJENKINS. And I'll put that in the description as well. I do have a sponsor code if you're not already a customer of mine. It might ask you for a sponsor code, and that is 0407402. Super easy to do. If you're not interested in creating a free customer account and you want me to order for you, you've got to send me a message, and I can do that too. I'm very, very, very present on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm always on those platforms, and TikTok. So find me on one of those if you want to message me, and I will help you out. I'll be more than happy to help you out.